Yes! Jeez, that feels good to be back.
You're back.
Wow. Nearly lost my seat on the show.
Wow.
I nearly lost my seat on the show. Hey, Brettles, how are you, son?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good to be back. Good to see you back.
Yeah, good. He's looking good. He's got the golden gooses on. Is he wounding us too much here?
He does. What about Nahas last week? Said that Brett's brother's better looking.
He is. No, he is.
Oh,
I've
you
been
reckon?
with Matty and Barley. Better rig, better bloke.
He's got more grey hair.
Better looking.
Better footy player?
He would have been. Would have put his head over it. Would have been very tough.
He actually would have put his head over it more than me.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he was going to ring in, but he said he saw Dyl over there. They're at the same hotel.
Yes, and we had a good time. Thank you, Brett.
They had a great chat, and Dyl's like, "Yeah, mate, we'll go to the gym." So Matty texted me for his number, and then Dyl's like, "No, we're not going to the gym."
I didn't have service over there. I was trying to unwind, but I did listen to the Pod Boys, and I must admit you did a great show.
Yeah.
And the feedback was immense in the fact that
what about that bloke who gave the feedback? Jog on, Josh, or whatever your name is.
Oh yeah, about you.
The order of funniness.
No, the order of funniness on Instagram was
fourth and fifth here.
Yeah, it was Mac 1. And Mac's in here today.
Yeah,
he was here at 8 a.m. again. He forgot to push back.
Is this working? G'day.
No, Mac. So there was no intro, Mac. I was just talking about
number one funniest bloke. Gets to speak when he wants.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Just ask Josh.
What about a quick
Get his fucking mic off, would you? Did you give that to him?
Mute him.
I said,
quick trip to the barber as well, by the looks.
Yeah.
He's trimmed the sides.
Yeah. Bloody lawnmower. Well, Mac, just shut the fuck up for a bit. We'll get to you later because I've got something on him. Don't you stress about this. He's in trouble. No, he's actually in trouble with us.
He's about to lose his job.
Oh, well.
Has he been here since 8 a.m.?
When you're not getting paid, it's hard to get sacked.
So he's a volunteer.
Has he been here since 8 a.m. this morning?
What time did you get here, Mac?
Nah, a bit later today. Probably like 10:30.
10, but he's
Have
been
we added him
good.
to the WhatsApp group yet?
No, not yet. Maybe next year. Once you hear about what he's done, we'll see if you're happy with it or not. But plenty going on. Barley was awesome. We moved on from that. And Matty, as we said, Matty Delidio, great man.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. We're all about our friends and family and footy here, aren't we? And
Yeah.
Family first.
he ticks all those boxes.
Did he tell you the story about his first daughter, third child?
That broke her ankle?
Yeah. The day before he was supposed to fly
fucking hell.
on the trampoline, broke her ankle. Poor little thing.
And he
How
said,
old?
She's 6.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
A bit of resilience.
5.
Yeah,
she's 5.
it's just grit, really, isn't it? Just get it done and get to Bali. Hey, feedback.
Just get out there and play.
You just get out there and get it out. Hey, did you send her a message when she broke her leg?
She joined the group.
She joined the group.
Bit of resilience.
Get her in the
Me
WhatsApp.
and Vossi and Gary Lyon. Yeah, I'll add
Get
her
her in the
Yeah, I'll
WhatsApp
add her in.
because it's good to have that as like.
Yeah.
Good to be back. It's good to be back. Hey, guess what? This episode of Footy and Friends is brought to you by our friends at AAMI. Lucky you're with AAMI when you break your leg
Yeah.
and you're insured.
It's more
Right.
health insurance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
but if you
moving
get
on.
burgled while you're in the hospital, go to Amy.
Yeah, exactly right. No, we love AAMI. We appreciate the support this year,
They
which has
are
been
good.
immense. So we really, really appreciate that.
A bit of valet parking off the back of Amy type stuff.
100%. Mick, you're well?
Yeah.
Now,
was
there's a lot
crook
to
last
get
week.
through in footy. You
Not
were
much
very
more to
no.
add.
As I've said, there was a lot of feedback about how good you were at hosting. Brett, as we said, 5th funniest in the group.
Was it hotter in here last week? It was so hot in here. I don't know if it was because I was
You had
under
a
the bright
fever.
lights.
You had a fever.
Yeah.
I had a fever and I was under the bright lights of the hosting.
Nahas was good.
Increased admiration for what you do and how you do it,
Thank you.
which is good. Nahas,
Means a lot.
terrific.
He's so
terrific.
Nah, we've got to chat to him next year. And if Brett starts, continuing on the wounded and increasing
Bullying.
the invoices, Nahas is straight in. So it's great to see that we've got some competition. It's like the VFL. To win a flag, you want your twos playing really well.
bloody
Keeps the seniors
Where do
well.
I have to go to fill in 200 plus to I?
Yeah,
To earn me stripes.
Mick, how are you?
Yeah.
Now, you moved into your new house.
I have.
Now, last week we heard the boys have moved in to yours.
Yeah, they have,
as
yeah.
well. So Braden,
George
George,
and Riley Hardiman.
Riley Hardiman.
They're renting out
Yeah.
the investment property.
The
a bit
invest-
like Brett here, a bit of a property
A mogul.
You're a bit of a
magnate.
mogul, are you?
From all reports as well, I did hear that last week. From all reports, they're not happy with the rent. They reckon it's sort of Brighton prices at
In Newport.
sort of a Newport sort of proproperty.
Well, they've signed the agreement. So
Is that just cash or are we?
no, we'll declare it. I think we'll be declaring it, Dylan. Whether we declare all of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll leave that up to my
Didn't you have someone in your joint as well?
When I was in Sydney.
Yeah. Who did you? No, didn't you have Zerha, the bull, in your
Oh,
joint?
yeah, I did. That's how I signed up the bull. Yeah, no, he was in a place with an
locked him in your
ex-teammate of
house.
mine. Yeah, locked him in and said, right, you're not getting out until you sign this agreement. No, he with one of his best mates and still housemates, Jimmy Harold, who I was playing with at Box Hill when I was there before I came into the job.
Jesus.
Long story.
Yeah, it's a long story.
Anyway, sorry.
Maybe next episode we'll go more into it.
A bit like butts, wasn't it?
What about Brett as well when I was over in Bali? He's trying to sell me his bike. Did he talk about
Yeah,
this
no, we
last
talked about it.
week?
Well, you said you listened to the show and you said it was
Yeah.
a good show, and we talked about it on the show.
Okay, great. Just confirming that I don't want to buy a bike. I was asking you for some information on a bike.
Oh.
And straight away, he just starts pushing this other shit mountain bike that he's got 7 years ago and wants me to buy it. I want a brand new bike,
You want
mate.
good suspension.
I want suspension. I want a hardtail
Warranty.
mountain bike. But what I do want from you is I want to go mountain bike riding with you.
You with a hardtail, you won't last
I would like us all to go.
on my trails.
I'd love to go mountain
Okay.
bike
Where are
riding
we
with
going?
you guys.
Anglesey.
Well, Anglesey is probably the closest and most accessible.
Okay.
It's good, easy.
So you
easy
take the
trails.
car, you take the car up, ride down, or how does it work?
No, you're
No,
right
no,
from the
at
bottom up.
Anglesey, you can ride the full loop pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Let's lock that in for the off season, which is good. I'll just give you the two that I'm trying to get is a Cannondale Habit H22.
Yeah. Nice.
Moving on. Now, as we said, this episode of Footy Friends, before we get into the review, which is big, is brought to you by friends at AAMI, which we love. And we've got a clanger segment, which we love. And boy, oh boy, we've got a clanger for you this week from yours truly, Mac.
Oh, no, what's he done?
So Mac's growing in stature, you'd say.
He told us that he's being noticed.
He's getting some laughs.
Yeah.
He's getting noticed by the
girls.
The girls.
Out in the
They love
scene.
him out in the scene. He's got a new haircut.
Yep.
So we thought, you know
You've given
what?
him some apparel?
Yes.
I'm not sure how we got that. But yeah, I'm not sure. But we, you know, like when a young player comes in and you want to, in a footy club, you want to give them confidence. You know, you want them to take.
Be them.
But then sometimes they just take too much. You know,
They overstepped the mark.
overstep it a little bit too much. So we had a role for Mac while I was away, and I didn't approve this, by the way. I wasn't a part of it, but I found out when I got home. Mac was trusted with a role to drop something off to Jeremy Cameron at the airport last week before they flew out to Adelaide. Yeah. And we're doing something with Jez that's coming very soon with Clubby Sports and
Yeah.
Jez, his YouTube channel. Cool piece of something that I can't talk too much about because it's Jeremy's thing that he'll announce. But Mac was trusted into dropping this box off.
Yeah.
Top secret box. He said, Mac, can you just drop it out? That's all you need to do. Just give it to Jezza and fucking leave. Like, don't annoy him. Like, he's got this big final coming up.
Did you harp on that last
harped
point?
on the fact.
Yeah.
Just like, don't, like,
Where was he going to meet at the airport, by the way?
No, like, he parked at the airport. We said, we'll
Cover the parking?
Not valet, but parking.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Long term, you have to get the bus.
Yeah, you had to
From
get the
F
bus.
zone.
Yeah, the bus as well. Yeah, so he dropped. And we said, do not do that. Like, just give him the box. Don't even say hello. Just leave him. Don't even say good luck.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Yeah.
So what did Mac do? He bought a carload of his mates with him.
Oh, this is.
He bought a
skewed
carload
as
of his
always,
mates.
but
So
Yeah.
5 of them in the car.
Yeah.
Got to split petrol.
He's got to split petrol. They drove out there.
From Swan Hill.
I don't know where they were coming from.
Yeah.
They drove out there. They were filming this whole thing as like a TikTok.
Oh, you kidding?
They get there. They're filming Jez for about 15 minutes with the whole thing. Then he asked Jez for 10 shout-outs to his mates to film them.
this is not correct.
What?
Shout-outs.
This didn't happen. This
Asking
didn't
for
happen.
shout-outs
This
from
is-
Jeremy. Jez messaged me and he's like, say to Mac, if he wants a shout-out, he can jump on his swish and pay for it. Wasn't happy. So he's giving free shout-outs. So Mac, here's your chance. That's your Amy Clanger.
Jeez,
What?
that is terrible journalism, Mr. Barley. I don't know if Dyl even knew it happened. Did not get briefed to. I actually got told bring mates because we want to film a whole video about it. So
That's not true.
Selective hearing here.
Yeah.
yeah, clearly I just thought, oh yeah, I need mates. That's not what happened. But they said, oh, get some videos of you at the airport with the box, driving the airport. So we put some good content out there, made some funny videos,
Yeah.
which clearly was against the briefing, but whatever. And
And what did Jez say?
well, we saw Jez. I shook his hand, just had a chat. How you feeling? Feeling good, you know.
You were directly asked, not to ask.
No,
how
I
he
was not.
feeling.
That is a lie. That he made that up. I was just being friendly. Well, it's a bad reflection if I just throw the box at him and walk off.
How was he feeling?
He was feeling good. He said he was feeling relaxed and most. Oh, jeez. Nah, who cares? He was feeling all right.
That's the attitude, mate.
Nah, he was. We had a good chat. He was talking about how some
Was he-
clubs make you wear polos to the airport, but
Yeah.
Geelong were going in more just
Relax.
Now everyone had. There was a good vibe around the.
So what were
Club.
they?
How
How
They
long
in
was
street
this
clothes?
chat with Mac?
Yeah, it
sounded
was
like
a good
went
chat.
for a while.
I'm a country boy. He's a country boy. We
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
you know,
Talking about your families and
yeah. Well,
Milking the cows and that?
And, nah, I'm not a dairy farmer. But anyway, then I'll admit I overstepped. And I just said, I said, if it's not too much to ask. And
No, I don't think he said that.
I definitely did. And we were talking for a good while. So I thought, it
You
wasn't.
didn't think he needed to get his flight? Or
Yeah.
get
Nah,
to
they
the big
had
game?
plenty of time.
Well,
Don't
okay.
worry, I knew what time he was flying out. He still
Jez
had
has said a couple
45
times, I'm
minutes.
going to take off back. No, it says just relax. Don't go to gate yet.
Anyway, great interaction. So I said, if you don't mind, like my footy team's going into a grand final this week. Could you like wish him luck in a video? And he's like, yeah, mate, no worries. Like, I'm going to do that for you. It's all good. Because, we've
It's 'cause he's a
been
good
talking.
man.
He saw me, knew I was a country boy. And
Yeah.
Anyway, so he made the video. I'm like, oh, yeah, the boys will like this. Just thought, just a calm little Snapchat video. Then they just saved it. Everyone saved it. About a few of them put on their stories and then come back in here and it was like, Mac, what the fuck was that? And it's funny. I'm glad we're laughing about it now. Wasn't that funny on the day?
Did you get the 360-degree feedback?
Yeah. He's like, oh, Mac, just
Warranted.
come have a chat. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You happy with it? And he's like, yeah, just also. And yeah.
What's your take on, because we'll probably cut Mac off now.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Well done, mate.
Yeah. You turn that mic off now. if you're right, Scott, thanks.
What about Scotty, who's producing today?
Oh, Scotty's got the nuff bag.
Yeah, he's full-blown
Yeah.
cheer squatting.
Yeah, so
At the Cats
we do
sport
want to
game.
get into the week one review of the round, but just quickly, Scotty going up to Adelaide. And thank you, Mac, for that story.
Thanks, mate.
There might have been a bit
It
of...
was a bit like some of those emails that come through, wasn't it? There's a fair bit of mayo on.
There was some mayo, but there
Dyl-
also was some overstepping of the mark.
What
Yeah, no.
I really appreciate in the coaching world, the feedback. You as his boss, yeah?
I didn't know it was here. I didn't know that wasn't my...
You got him in?
No,
who got him in?
I'm not sure. He just came in one morning.
Who got in, Dust?
Baldy got me in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Step in here.
Good
What the
operator.
fuck was that?
No, he was just like, yeah, he was good. I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah, sorry, Jez. If you want me to like wire a fence or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Film
good.
that too.
Scotty went up to the game on the weekend. Let's talk about it now. Let's get into the week one preview and we'll get going with the episode.
Or the review.
Port Adelaide, the review, sorry, it's been a while. Port Adelaide defeated by Geelong, 138-54. My goodness gracious, what a game this was. What a game it was, boys. You've got how to do it? Just
You've
talking now.
pointed to me, then you've given me the whole.
I was saying, Scotty, just hold for a minute. Let's get into the game
let's get into
first,
the
then
game.
we'll talk about the review.
Well, here's my summation, Brett.
Yeah, give it to me.
Don't want
Because Brett, you said, and I listened to this,
What did you say?
straight sets.
I know.
You said it.
You said straight sets, Geelong.
I know. I had someone DM me.
Mate, I had a lot of people, they were not happy with you.
You
The
bozo.
Cats.
Port were like halfway the second quarter in front. Ended up with their eyeballs. Butters goes off, ribs.
Yep.
And from there, just tailspin. So it really did show,
Capitulation.
I think, their vulnerability ahead and behind the ball, the power. But we will throw over to Brett, he's bursting at the seams to tell us how it all happened, Brett.
No, I'm not actually, because I got it completely wrong. I did not see that coming whatsoever. But geez, they're impressive, weren't they? I mean, Shawnee Manor, your boy. I was texting you on the night.
Yeah.
He
Got a
was
few texts on the night, actually.
he was super impressive. He
was good.
Ability to stand up in a big game, your first final in the AFL scene, but. They've got a number of role players that just we talk about all the time, don't we? Executing fundamentals, their ability just to win crucial one-on-ones or knock the ball to advantage. I mean, they've got some special players too. That Jez obviously kicking that goal, but mate, jeez, did not see that coming. But I don't know whether it says as much about Geelong as poor as what Port Adelaide were, or it just says, geez, Geelong nearly could be number one seed now, going through to the finals.
Isn't it after every game, well, after maybe the Hawthorn and the Geelong game, you're like, geez, these two teams are probably the most in form. Like Swans, I was at that game, we'll get to that later. Like Giants had them on toast all game. And in the end, Swans just jumped them, which was obviously heartbreaking. Brisbane absolutely jump out of the blocks, but then nearly shit the bed in the last three quarters of that game. So when you think about it, those two teams are like consistently played sort of four quarters.
Last three quarters, you reckon? No. Anyway, we'll get to that game later.
Last
Geelong, the power defence had no answer. We talked about Sean Manor, who kicked three and set three up, but Myers kicks three. Close does what he does, gets up like that. They just if one doesn't get you, the other couple will.
Stengel, Jet.
They're very dangerous in terms of their mix of forward line at the moment. Houston and Farrell, big outs like for Port in terms of what they can do in terms of setting them up with ball movement. but also the capacity to kind of compete and defend.
Yeah.
They lost all of that on Thursday night.
Yeah, no, I think like their midfield got touched up, and obviously Butter's out. I don't think Rosie's had as good a year as he would have liked.
First year captaincy.
First year captain.
Do you see that the difference between the two captains? It was the biggest difference of captain's age, 34 and 24.
Yeah.
Of Dangerfield versus Rosie.
Yep. Was that a BWS stat? I reckon
Take that one to Ken for this week.
I think Clarko would like to know that.
Yeah.
Just with the young captains he's got, let him know.
I'll double
Max
back.
Holmes was huge for the Cats. Danger had some big moments right across the board. And I suppose there's question marks now as for the Cats. They got the week off. No more VFL for them. Their VFL side lost. So Hawke doesn't get to press his case anymore. Does he come back in for Neil? In my eyes, I've got my opinion on it, but I'll get yours.
I don't think so. No. What's your thoughts?
I'm the same. I think Neil, 2 goals to 2, 9 marks, gave you everything that Hawke's probably given us this year. Now, I'm not disregarding what he's been, he's superstar. But
I think Cam Guthrie gets back in.
For who?
Yeah.
Because Tom Stewart's got to come back in.
Tom Stewart will come back in for Mullen. Yeah. Tui was the sub.
Yeah, so Tui out and Guthrie in.
Yeah, I think they just rate. Tui's been a great server for a long time.
Because
He's retired recently. But the emotion, this time of year, it's all a bit uncomfortable, isn't it? And if you're saying a great player should pop out and a good experienced player for another.
Jed Buse, maybe?
I think what's crazy with these games as well is, albeit the week off and, touch wood that everyone gets through, but there's some hard stories here of guys that they do get in later. You look at Taylor Adams from the Swans, let go, drop from that team on the weekend. Over the next week or so, even at training or another game, someone could fall down and he comes in. You never know. Like, that stuff happens. So you just got to be in it. Like, you got to be in it to win it. Who knows who's going to be in that final team?
Sniff around and stay available. But I think Neil's been going okay, hasn't he? He's been doing his job. And,
been a big target and giving Jez a chop out.
Before we get into Scotty's synopsis of this game, what game did you
have we got
ABC on
Chris
the weekend?
Scott on? None. We've got Chris Scott. Oh, Scotty.
Oh, Scott. No, this is the real Scotty.
The real Scott.
The real Scotty. What ABC game did you do on the weekend?
I got offered to go up to the Sydney game, but
just wanted to validate that.
Damn it.
Too many weeks travelling this year.
Oh, and Murph, probably a bit greedy.
I've got a family, 3 young kids.
Girls. Yeah, of course.
Dyl made his way up there.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
I was up there.
He's rewarded Juz with some time away in Bali, so he's like,
and he's off to Perth for some reason. We still haven't got the bottom of that.
Plenty on. So I don't know when this message was then, because I had a DM throughout. They said, "Hey, Dyl, last week I was driving home and pulled over to fuel up. I snagged 3 potato cakes and chucked on ABC footy on radio. Popping Mono's Delidio couldn't get a word in over the greedy Mark Murphy, but when he did, Lids went with calling the hamstring a pig rope.
Yeah.
Keen to hear Mac's thoughts on whether this terminology is fitting for ABC listeners. Cheers, tripods."
Scott's literally taken the microphone off him.
Yep, good.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Mac.
Have you ever heard it called a pig rope before?
No.
Hamstring, pig rope.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, good one. Scott, Cats, before we move on, what'd you think? Who'd you love? And how was your fly-in, fly-out job to
Where were you
Adelaide
sitting?
Oval? Oh, he was on the bench, mate. He was...
Well, I'm asking Scott.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
He's got a mic. Sorry.
I thought we did well as a team. Just me up the front, A1. Good seats, actually.
Yeah.
In the middle of 3 Cats bays. Really spurred the boys on. No, they look good out there.
Yeah.
But going back to you, Cam Guthrie could be Buse.
Yeah.
Depends what you want.
Who would you pick? So 2
Cam
things.
Guthrie's in.
So Cam Guthrie comes. Who goes out then? You got to say.
He's abused, didn't he?
I reckon Buse. Because Tui. I reckon Tui out.
So then who plays? Who's a sub?
Be just on the day. I don't reckon you play Cam Guthrie as sub.
No.
I reckon...
Fuck, Tom de Koning is sub, by the way. We'll get into that
So
later.
that
That's
means
fucking random.
Ocean Mullen stays in your side. He's probably
I reckon
Stewie
Mullins is a sub then, isn't
Mullen will be out for Stewie.
What about Sam DeCone? Does he come in?
He'll struggle. It depends how much.
He doesn't like making decisions because
No,
he loves the boys.
No, I like the
They
boys.
might be listening.
If they've got big tall forwards, like maybe a Jesse Hogan or Tite, they might bring him in for that. But Blixarves have been playing in defence way better than he had been playing in midfield.
They put Blitzarves to Charlie Dixon and just ran, and then would go into the second ruck with him, and that's a bit of analysis of just Chris Scott.
It's fair to say they've
doing
got some
research.
selection headaches.
So they do.
They've got.
And you know what your thought would be? Who
They'll
would
all
you bring
play.
in?
They'll all play. Play them all. Just let him play.
What number are they going to wear?
Play.
Well, De Koning's wearing the
They got too
16.
many weird numbers. I don't like
De Koning's
those
wearing the
numbers.
16, and it kind of like
It
suits
clashes,
his long.
but it clashes with
Irish-
Jeremy's 5, so
Oh,
I
so
don't
he's
like it.
out.
Yeah, I don't like it as much. Scotty on the weekend, by the way, just before we move on from that game, was on the fence and he was caught up on the AFL Instagram. You know, when the AFL Instagram goes around and films like the players walking around giving high fives. And we've got to get this vision out. It's a funny thing. Scotty's dead set, like serious, over the fence, slapping up with all the players. It's so good.
No.
It's so good.
I do that. I will admit, it's not the best look for me. Brad, I've talked to Brad previously. Brad Close. He walks.
Oh,
up.
Brad, do it.
Yeah,
Bradley.
I call him Bradley.
We were over there for his 100th game.
Yeah. Couldn't get the family and friends tickets, so it was a bit weird. So, I've said hi to him because he saw me and said whatever. The only thing that's made me not look like the biggest nuffy was the 37-year-old bloke next to me getting his
Doing the
45
same
jumper
thing.
getting signed.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Front and back.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. No, a bit of front and back signature. There's
front
nothing
and
better.
back.
So he did the front and he goes, "Oh, can you do the back as well?" So
wrong
double
with
signature.
Was it a long sleever?
It was a long sleeve retro kit actually.
I've said to
Quite nice.
Scott, if the Cats are in the grand final, he has to go to the game in a short sleeve jumper,
Yes.
no t-shirt.
And face paint.
And face paint with some whiskers, which I
I'll be
don't
saying
think is
that.
going to be hard for him.
Which, as you say that, because that's something you're saying, if that happens, like, and we build up the excitement,
It won't happen.
The next game,
It doesn't happen.
it-
Look like the
it's
Western
so,
Boruses.
So deflating that the
Yeah.
Western Boruses are out. Poor old Boris won't see Brett for another
Well,
year.
how did Boris go with
How's he
that?
taking the news?
Oh, mate. He went,
Last chance to see the girls. Get down and see Bolton. He was grumpy. He wasn't happy.
What are
He
you going to
wasn't
do? What are they
happy.
going to do with the little Boris top?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he might not be there for next year. He might not be there next year.
Yeah.
Boris.
We shouldn't
Oh,
laugh.
now.
Sorry.
You're
Poor
you're
Boris.
death writing Boris.
Yeah. Jeepers.
But
Oh,
hey,
don't act like you care, mate. You couldn't give a shit.
but facts are facts.
Facts are facts,
Bit
mate.
long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
She's
Oh,
13,
Boris.
is she?
Good
Big fella?
girl.
It's a girl.
You said she's.
Oh, she is, yeah. Figure of speech.
Okay. I don't even know what bloody gender the dog is these days. Anyway, moving on.
Been neutered.
Clubby Sports Breakfast proudly powered by Lululemon. Give it up a bit. Yeah.
Oh, best on. Geelong, Port, have we finished up? Like, Port coming up this week. We'll get into that in the
got
review
Hawthorn,
later.
yeah.
We'll get into that. But Western Bulldogs defeated by Hawthorn. This game was pretty good, but it never really looked like the Hawks were going to lose this one, to be honest. I think the first goal the Doggies kicked, but after that, Hawks were on. I said off air, I don't think I was even brave enough to say it, but I thought that, I put my hand up. I thought the Hawks had run their race and Dogs were just going to come out and smack them, and they didn't.
It's very vulnerable of you.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Can I
Hands
ask
up.
you a question?
I have got a BWS refreshingly stat.
Go for it.
Okay. And then just remember that
Yeah.
question, because this is quite a good stat. With 97,828 attending the Bulldogs versus Hawthorn, it was the largest ever home game crowd for the Western Bulldogs, 17,000 more than their other previous record. And it's the largest elimination final crowd ever, the largest non-grand final crowd since 2007 prelim.
It should have been played at Marvel. They finished higher on the ladder.
Yeah.
It's their home ground.
I agree.
Brett?
No, the reason why it wasn't.
Yeah,
More people there.
No, because there was no game in
there's
Victoria.
no game in Victoria, and so there's a
There's a rule.
Yeah.
there's a rule written in to the agreement with the MCG. If there's no other games, so even if it was Geelong and they finished,
So I've got the
higher,
man from ABC here.
Yeah.
they would. It has to be played
But
at the G.
so if what's an example? If Geelong had played Port,
Yep,
I think he just said that.
that's what I was just saying.
did
Yeah.
you say that? I just
Yeah,
switched
well,
off.
I got cut off, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who by? Who by?
You.
By me.
Yeah, pretty sure you just said that, mate. So any game, any Victorian team had to be played at the MCG
Where-
if there's no other finals.
So, no, hang on.
Where I said even if it was Geelong, that's where you sort of jumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. You finish what you're going to say.
It had to be played at the G.
But if Geelong were playing Port Adelaide
Yes.
at the G, would the Dogs have played Hawthorn?
If it was in,
Well, that's interesting.
don't-
That's interesting, Mick. No, do you see what he's done there?
He jumped down my throat.
You-
well,
we
I
got-
don't think has there been a final
back
there
off.
since the Hawthorn
really
Adelaide
interesting.
one. That'd be interesting to find out. Because remember Hawthorn Adelaide played and Buddy kicked that grouse goal.
Hasn't happened for a while, but Brett's kind of validated something we've said.
No, that was interesting because
discussion.
I like
I
your
don't know the
point.
ruling, but-
But they're aside the Dogs, the Western Boris.
I don't think the AFL let it happen. There you go.
the home.
So you reckon both would have been at the G, or do you reckon Cats would have been at Geelong?
I reckon they both would have been at the G.
Their home ground advantage there at Marvel is similar to what the Cats have down at GMHBA, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But if Geelong had made the final against Port, would they play it at G? Oh, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
If you only had balls, you'd be your uncle.
Anyway,
That's
pretty, pretty interesting stat they ran that like Bulldogs final being the biggest
Yeah, huge.
crowd.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the weather, like the tall forwards,
awesome.
the Dogs didn't get near it.
No.
Hard on them. Yes, still.
Was the weather that bad?
What about our group chat discussions going on? So I thought Bont was injured, but I don't think that was the case.
Connor Nash just put him to sleep.
Really? And Bevo said go play centre forward and direct traffic.
I'm not
Wow.
privy to that, but
I wasn't there either, but I'm just assuming that that's what happened.
Well,
Jeez, that's a good get by
I think
Connor
we've
Nash.
got to applaud what Hawthorn are doing and how they're doing it. Like I was a bit. Again, before the game, you don't know really. No one really knows what's going to happen.
No.
But everyone has their theories. I
That's
was a bit
life.
like, they've been red hot here.
Yeah.
And this is a big stage, 97,000. What they've just shown is they will. Any occasion that's put in front of them at the moment, they will just keep going out there and throwing the dice.
Nick Watson 4 goals 1.
Yeah.
Cal Shadir 3 goals 4.
Yeah.
Connor McDonald, he's had a great year. Connor McDonald.
I was so impressed with that game.
Yeah.
He was so
He's
good.
a jet, mate.
You know who's a really underrated player as well? That doesn't probably get the accolades or maybe the impact on like real breakout plays is Harry Morrison. He just has that step and always gets the handball out. I feel like he always just puts people into good spaces.
Plays his
you
role
like
really
that?
well out in the wing.
Yeah.
Do you like that or no?
I think Harry.
You hate him. No, you fucking hate him.
Oh, we're from Golden Valley, like Harry, who's from Benalla.
Yeah.
So we're all about Harry. Don't worry about he's like us. Dyl, he's a country
He's
boy.
a country boy. That's why I like him.
But I don't know. With
you
all
want to
due-
talk about Ginnivan, do you, mate? What do you want to talk about Buddy Franklin? I'm
it's
trying to talk
just
about
an
the players that
interesting-
no one else knows.
Of all the players that you could have chosen, like if you had said Scrimshaw, I would have been like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
He's had a bloody
Bloody
good year, you know, and he intercepts well. But you've gone with Harry Morrison on the wing, and he's
like
played.
if Will Day comes back into this side,
Look,
he's
it's
in
right,
side.
they're a chance.
Mate, can I just tell you something? He had 22 disposals in the weekend.
He's still in
he
the
played
side.
some pretty good football.
Yeah.
22, and guess how many scoring Melbournes? 5. So without even looking at that, he played pretty
Would
well.
you say that he's a
I'd say he's banged up.
he's a star?
He's a star. Bruce had 3. Chol could be anything sometimes. Like he flies, he nearly takes hangers, but just doesn't.
Yeah,
Like you know who I feel for?
tell me.
Our man Mitch Lewis. Hard. ACL.
Yeah.
I feel like people have,
What about Sammy Frost? Do you feel for him?
yeah, he's done his foot.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the year after playing the whole year. His best ever year in terms of games played.
Yeah.
And very, very important, much maligned across his career.
Yeah.
But like for what they do, he is your meat and potatoes defender, whereas everyone else is doing their thing. This will put a lot more like Jack Scrimshaw, as you mentioned, who I think has kind of probably gone under the radar a little bit in terms of the year he's had.
He's had a great year.
He's playing a bit bigger than he actually is. How do they? Because they haven't actually got people jumping out of the ground to come in. Sarong, I think, is kind of an
And Ethan
emergency most
Phillips.
week. Ethan Phillips, but they're not big
too big.
boys.
No, but they're the ones that they're talking about. But and then there's CJ.
yeah, CJ didn't even get a game.
Play a bit of small ball.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They should put Harry Morrison back there as a key back.
Yeah, well, he could do everything else.
Brett will try and sign up Harry Morrison next year. What about
Man, I spent
what
some
about
time
our
with
boy
H.
Lloyd
He's a good
Meek?
kid. Lloyd Meek, mate. I saw it was a
hell.
big Kane Corns tweet and he's saying gave the wrong player a 7-year deal and they gave it to Sean Darcy.
Yeah.
And they've let Lloyd Meek go who come to Hawthorn.
You know what I was impressed with Meek? What about his big set shot from 50?
Yeah.
Like that
Bang.
was
No, he's
Hit it
mate,
clean,
that
didn't
was
he?
Brett Delidio-esque, wasn't it?
It was,
Not
actually.
quite that good, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Where to
Newcombe
here?
star.
Where to
Newcombe
here?
star.
Yeah, okay.
Can we say that?
Where to here from the Dogs? Give me that.
Sorry. For next week.
Probably Mad Monday, I would have thought. But
The VFL side's still in.
yeah. Where do they go? Like they've got a great list.
Okay, I'll give you something. I don't like talking about my Giants at all.
Cadman.
I've got something. No, boys. I've got something about Cadman. It's fucking funny. You're going to love it. But I will say this. I went up to the Giants on the weekend and I was like, gee whiz, you know who's a bloody important player for the Giants right now? James Peatling. I looked it up and I was like, he would be on probably What's the minimum these days? 120? 110.
140.
Is it 140 now? Okay. Inflation.
Far out.
Jesus
Inflation,
Christ.
boys.
I was on
Jeez.
70. It's
Yeah.
doubled.
I was on 41 when I started.
Whoa. Anyway, sorry, that's rattled me a bit.
Nice.
Are we talking about the dogs here? Or are we
Yeah,
talking
we
about
are,
the
mate.
Giants?
It's called a story arc. You start somewhere and you work your way and you get there. James Peatling, out of contract, 140 grand. Playing above that salary. He's out of contract.
Yeah.
I saw an article that dogs are
Linked. Oh, they're Borising.
they're Western Borising around.
Having a sniff.
They are having a sniff, a red hot sniff at him.
that Brett?
So watch this
Smell a
space.
scent.
Yeah,
Smell a
smell a
scent.
scent. He goes, no, you're blind.
So you're saying
You two are that
We're
funny.
gonna go for
That's
Peatling.
Brett's dad's ass. Get away.
Bailey Smith.
Oh, mate.
That was
You
too far.
grub.
That was too far.
Bailey Smith wants out of the Dogs.
Yes.
Shock horror.
Yeah,
that one
that's
coming?
yeah. I saw that one. I think everyone saw that one.
Who saw
yeah.
that coming?
I think
What's his name?
Even
The list
Boris saw that
manager?
coming.
The list manager of the Hawks. Remember him? Ray Charles?
Oh, Charles saw that.
You idiot.
He thought someone was actually Rachel. His name was
Well,
Ray.
let's not take him in it.
Oh, don't mention his name. Like, he's got
Anyway,
a
so
career to uphold.
there you go. I was going back to the Bulldogs there. You look at that. I don't necessarily think they need more midfielders, but I saw that article and I thought it was interesting.
Who wrote it? Don't know.
Couldn't tell you, mate.
Yeah.
Ray Charles. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think about the Dogs? What do they need? Because I don't actually think they need much, really. Like their list is good.
Yeah. Well, Lobby's gone and filled that spot down back that I thought they needed to fill. Now, I don't. Yeah, I think
They're
another
not small forward.
small forward
Yeah,
is
they
what
got
I'd be.
Cody Waitman, but then
Cody Waitman.
So a bit more.
What about
bit more heat on the ball.
What about watch this space? What about what's his name again? Carlton, small forward. Matt Owies. That Matt Owies.
Yeah, he's
again,
out of
money
contract.
ball, 140. I reckon.
Bring him in on
Doggies
140.
could be sniffing around.
Look at the Doggies will
Boris.
Western Boris him.
Let's embarrass him. Who knows? Watch this space. See what happens.
Maybe.
I love trade period. So exciting. You know who else was really good at Hawthorn quickly before we get on was Ward. Came in for Mackenzie.
Yeah, came
Mackenzie
in
got
late.
he
He actually played really well. Yeah,
Yeah.
20-something, 25.
Thanks. Yeah, 20. He had 22.
Hey,
22. 9 tackles though,
this
which we
week
love.
they've got some.
They got headaches. A lot of headaches this time of
need
year.
some-
What
know,
else
rapid.
are at Bulldogs? We done with them for the year? We think they're going to be okay. So what do you think?
Oh, they've got some hurdles to overcome, I would have thought. They've made the finals the last 2 years with great list and haven't been able to win a final. Exited the first week, both in the last 2 years. So they'll be disappointed, no doubt. They'll be searching for whatever that answer is. But, we wrote them off earlier in the year. Everyone was writing them off and where are they at. And they got back to the finals, which is great. And they look like the form team, but they ran into a red-hot Hawthorn. So, issues.
Agree.
Concur.
So we'll move on from those games. I think we've done
That's your
pretty well
show.
there. I think we've done pretty well there. Just getting the run sheet back up. I was really into that one. Sydney Giants. Sydney defeated the Giants 88-82. Far out. This was hard to watch. Now, we spoke about James Peatling before, who I love. He had, I think, about 14 tackles on the weekend, 16 disposals, but 14 tackles.
12.
Anyway, don't get the truth in the way of a good story. He played well. I had something for you for our man Cadman.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's our mothers are like in terms of if you got the same last name or someone's out there and they go, you know Aaron Cadman. So Mum called me throughout the week. She goes, you know, Aaron Cadman. She goes, you know your pa's name, family name was Cadman. I was like,
On your mum's side.
on my mum's side, their name's Cadman. So her name's Pierce, but it's a long-winded story of my pa
Yes.
Yeah.
had a dad,
Yeah.
but
So
then
your
they
great-grandfather-
divorced.
Who would have thought your pa had a dad?
Yeah, they divorced, and then my pa, she had a new husband, and then that dad came in, and they took his name, which was
lost.
Pierce.
I'm so lost.
So he took his stepdad's name,
Yeah.
Pierce. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's my mum's name, Pierce. My name's Buckley. Anyway, she goes, Cadman's that name. You should chat to him to
is your
find
wife.
out if you two are related. So
What did you think when your mum said that to you?
we're basically cousins and brothers. So I don't want him to go to North anymore.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him to stay at the Giants, but I'm trying to work out if me and Aaron Cadman are related, which I haven't spoke to him yet, but I will do that. Anyway, he kicked 3 goals on the weekend, played pretty well.
Yeah, and he's going to be a player.
Yeah.
And he's on very much on the way to being a very good player. But it's just that thing, isn't it? Key forwards come in, like takes them 24 months to actually kind of figure it out and grow into a body. And That game, though, I actually didn't see much of this game at all.
It was a great game.
Otherwise engaged. But they are saying that last quarter was like one of the best quarters of football for potentially forever.
Especially the SCGs.
Yeah, the way it was, how was the atmosphere? And
it was unbelievable. And even Heaney said post-game too, it's the loudest he's ever heard the SCG. Like there were moments there where, and it's all relative here, people will scoff at this comment, but I was at the game Carlton-Collingwood a few years ago when Jamie Elliott kicked the sealer and Collingwood went nuts. Remember that?
I was there.
You were probably there with ABC?
Yep.
With Murph. Would have been talking over you
Murph
at that
was
time.
muted because the baggers had gone.
Yeah. And long story short, when a few goals there, Heaney kicked his goal and I think Jake Lloyd kicked his goal. It was like deafening. Like I was getting on the Apple Watch coming up saying when it says like loud vibrancies coming through, it was fucked. Like it was that loud at that Oval. And I think hands down, the SCG is the most beautiful ground to watch a game at or even play at. Like I just love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
The vibe, the weather was awesome. Like there was people everywhere. And it was actually quite a good mix of, it would have been 70-30, but there was a lot more Giant supporters than, we were probably used to back in the day.
And you could look at the score worm, right? You could look at the score worm and think, the Giants have laid an egg here. But all the word is that they didn't do a huge amount wrong. Like that, you've got to tip the cap a little bit to Sydney in terms of what they did.
Yeah. They just couldn't stop their momentum. They just started coming and they kept coming off the back of some brilliance. They spoke about Braden Campbell, lost his grandfather the day before, still comes out. And
he was a difference. Like coming on as a sub, he was unbelievable. Like he was just, when a sub comes on.
Do you reckon Kingsley's ruining the fact he didn't
tag him?
Go in with the plan?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, tag the sub. Sub-tag the sub. Dennis Armfield would have done it. Would have kept him to two. But he was definitely a difference coming on. It's interesting what you said before about the two teams. Obviously, watching the game, it was unbelievable. But Giants really cooked themselves, I think, in the first half. They didn't capitalise when they had.
They missed some easy goals. Toby runs into a lay down.
Peatling missed one. Toby missed one.
Peatling from the top of the goal square.
Yeah, there was just some really shit, mistakes made from the Giants, and I think Swans just capitalised.
Yeah, it's moments.
It's moments. And the momentum too. There was one moment where I don't know when it was, but Swans were almost buried, but then Papley kicked one, and it was just a set shot.
That left foot snap?
Nah, it was just a set shot. It wasn't like a great goal, but I was just thinking, I don't want him to kick this. Purely the 6 points, but obviously when he kicks a goal, they just go nuts. And it was almost like he kicked a set shot, went nuts, they went nuts, and it was like,
he's an angry little ant.
It was pretty cool. The Heaney goal was probably
from 60.
One of the best goals I've seen. Like, Connor Iden should have killed the ball. Papley incredibly brings it to ground.
Yep.
Whitfield is tackling Heaney before he even gets the ball. Handballs it into space. Heaney marks it, shrugs off, breaks the line like Judd, off the train tracks, kicks it from 70, and it was just, you couldn't not admire it. It was unbelievable.
You couldn't admire his whole game.
Yeah.
He's elevated himself in that game. Well, he's already a great player. He's a couple of time All-Australian and kicks goals as a midfielder, but I think it's almost like an FU to everyone else saying, there's Bontempelli, there's Cripps.
Yeah.
And yet he's just don't forget about Big Isaac up here.
I know 3.
Oh, mate. Just
3 goals, 30, and a mark of the year, which, in finals can't get paid.
Tell you what I find interesting.
Yes.
So often you look at, and this is very simplistic, right? But you go to the game on the AFL app and you go to the ratings, fantasy score or
that's what I do.
The bottom of the bottom 12 players on the ground, a lot of them are Sydney.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to say
this
here...
is my stat. You've stolen this.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say is Sydney, Heaney, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Their forwards didn't really... Their key forwards didn't really work too much in terms of... But Heaney, unbelievable.
There's individual brilliance.
Warner had 7 clearances in the last quarter. So they can't rely too much on going to a prelim and leave it at 3 or 4 again.
Yeah. And that's what they did. What was that game that they won with Heaney and Warner just going bananas in the last quarter just recently? Who was that against?
I know what you're talking about here. They
had 14. They had 14 each. Yeah, it might have.
Collingwood.
Yeah. I think the system of the Giants.
Was it Collingwood, Dyl?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course you don't.
continue. I mean,
the system of the Giants stacks up.
Yeah.
And I think it stood up for most of the game. They just couldn't wrestle the individual brilliance, but then the momentum that they had on the back of that as well. So, you just hope that they didn't lose any confidence, the Giants, man, in terms of, because they had that game done, but they just took the foot off the pedal and a few moments go against them.
Take a fair bit of mental fortitude.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're coming in against, now Brisbane at home, which is great, but Brisbane are going to have their tails up as well. But then they went to sleep too in the second half.
That's what I think. I think it's going to be, we'll get into that later, but I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm confident with the Giants on that, but I like your point. I actually am not this weekend because I thought, I better stay home and get in trouble. I sort of floated it with Jars. I was like, because I got an email from the club. They wanted to give me some tickets. And I'm like, bloody hell, Jars, they want me to come up on the weekend again. I don't know about that. Just sort of seeing what she'd say. And she goes, not going to happen. I was like, no. I
wasn't even going to.
I was going to do it anyway. So don't worry about it.
I'll just tell Ben.
They're flat.
On the Swans, I will say this. It's a good point you make about their tools because Amadi and McLean were really irrelevant on them.
So, they were absolutely nowhere. McLean has 8 touches.
The one that he kicked the goal, he nearly he ran over it and nearly fell over and then got the Joe the Goose over the top.
How good Sam Taylor?
Sam Taylor's unbelievable. Jesse Hogan was, I was worried for Melican at one stage, but he actually turned it around, started playing some really good footy too. Jack Buckley, I think, is just so important. And I will say this about the Giants. I think it's the first time, Brett, I'd like your opinion on this, that they have not been reliant on their good players. Like
purely Tom Green, Toby, Chook.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah. Well, you look at as Mick said about their most important players on the night, like Pete's has got the most there. Obviously, he had the 12 tackles, 1 goal.
That helps.
It does help. But Callahan was really good. Green was like their 5th best player with 32. Briggs, Iden, Wardy kicked 2.
If we're rating it off the fantasy, which I don't like to do too much, but it is interesting that you make those points. And I get you what you're saying is that it wasn't the Stars where it was Sydney, it was their guns who stood up, especially late.
Yeah.
Daniel's quiet, Toby Green
Daniel's quiet, Toby was quiet.
Cunningham didn't come on and excuse Ross
Cunningham
tagging
did a
the other
great
sub.
job on Daniels.
Yeah.
I've been gloved by him before. He's hard man to get away from. He's fit and he's fast.
Yeah. No, that's it's good. It's good.
It's a good summation.
So we'll wait for the preview.
Wait for the preview.
Which is in a
We'll
couple of
get
days, by
into
the
it,
way.
Yeah, we'll come back, get changed. Go again. After this game, I had a couple of beers. I was a bit hung. Went down to the rooms. Boys didn't. They
let you in?
They let me in. They weren't too keen on coming down and having a chat.
Did they remember your name?
No, they didn't.
No.
It was good to see Big Shove was down there.
And funny, I was like, I got to get Aaron Cadman in this moment.
I said, he didn't come. I said, Aaron, I think we might be related.
How did you go on to the Kangas?
He said, how'd you get in here? I was like, He goes, do you know why they call him Horse? And I was like, I don't think it's appropriate to talk about that right now. Anyway, went to Toddy's for a little feed, came back to the hotel because we were a bit buggered. I was with my mate Jimmer Hines, who loves you boys, by the way.
Yeah, Jimmer.
Where would he rank us?
Jimmer is actually no, he's not happy with you because he's a Willy boy, like Newport way. And a few weeks ago, Spotty. He's a Spotswood boy. Yeah. Played for Spotswood. Jimmer Hines, he's Wardy's best mate from the area.
Yeah.
And he said that you were shitting on Brooklyn, which is where he lives, and you're saying you don't even know where it is, mate. It's a suburb next to you, mate. Have some respect.
Who was I shitting on here?
You were shitting on Brooklyn, on the pod.
Was I?
Yeah,
that's an oversight by me.
Yeah,
because I love Brooklyn.
Okay, moving on. There you go, Jim. Sorted it, mate.
Yeah, sorted.
I think that was years ago. Oh, it was weeks ago. We were talking about Cuzzy going to Brooklyn and doing.
No, that was Braybrook. If he lives in Braybrook,
no, it's not Braybrook. It's not Braybrook.
I don't retract.
They all sound the same.
Moving on, Brisbane defeated Carlton. As I said,
this is snooze this game.
I actually missed the first quarter because I was on the way back. 60-0 or something like that when I started tuning in.
It took until the 23rd minute for Carlton to score.
What happened in that first quarter?
Centre bounce, 5-zip early, bang, bang, bang. They
Big O.
A few of them. Big O, like Lockie, their crew just got to work, got it in there. It looked like a Brisbane night. The ball was sticky. Carlton selection stuff.
They went in the sauna, were they?
They weren't in there, kind of flinging them around. Yeah. Did they kind of go for the emotive
Doherty,
the emotive selection and underdone players in for clearly they brought in class.
Yeah,
and to the eye.
So would you have played? Did Doc play well? He finished with 1 goal and 16 and 2. Yeah.
It was great to see him kick that goal. To be honest, as a footy watcher and lover.
Yeah.
Correct. They played DeConing as a sub. When he came on, he had big impact.
That rattled me about the sub thing. So
Matty Kennedy got subbed out.
Well, that's what I
halfway
was-
through the second.
So
he
is that-
looked. He looked.
Oh.
Did you see the look? There was a look, Dyl, that you would never see a man as dejected and flat as Matt Kennedy.
Question about that, because again, I reckon I got there because as I was watching, DeConing was already on. So,
Yeah. So you
do you
missed
reckon it was in the plan that Kennedy was just to play a quarter and a half and
Can't
get subbed
imagine.
out for TDK, or was he
Not one bit.
really? What do you mean? So what happened?
They were down 60-0, so like
We've got to change something.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Oh well, fucking! I'm just asking the question here. I missed the first part of the game. Well, I wouldn't have thought. Why would you put TDK? No, but I was just
even if
thinking
you
it.
missed the first part of the game, you can look at the scoreboard.
No,
and say,
no.
something's not quite right here for Carlton.
No, I appreciate what you're saying, but I think with it, I was more thinking strategically. Was it because like he had 50% in his legs and they wanted to play him the whole time, or
What?
What, DeConing?
yes? I was wondering why the fuck he was sub. That's what I was
Okay,
trying to work
okay.
out.
You've kind of asked a different question there.
Okay.
That you don't think DeConing was fit and available to play a full game.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Why they put him as sub? So I'm thinking, was it a strategy,
Oh,
some weird strategy like Dennis Tagg and the other sub that they get him on early or something? That was I like to think outside the box.
I think it speaks to the whole situation. And again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. That could have bloody worked, and they win, and it's like, how good is this? We actually got some game time into Doherty and DeConing, and Williams comes back in, and now Curno's available and all that. But Brisbane, for mine, I think the narrative going into this game, which is always a bit risky, was this was the lay-down misère of the weekend that Brisbane was just going to win.
Yeah.
And everyone, I think, everyone externally is thinking that, but internally, I reckon Brisbane are getting a little bit, oh, gee whiz, there's a lot of
We've got to get it
expectation.
done.
And they were wound up like bottle tops and went bang.
Yeah.
And executed it.
Who'd you like from Brizzy? Who's in good form?
Who do I like?
Zorko, geez, he started well, didn't he?
Well,
He had 9 at half time.
They're so rounded as a side, right? And what I like about Brisbane's side is, which I've actually said in the past, I think it could come back and be their vulnerability. Maybe is the Lomans, the Logan Morrises, the younger players that are doing really well. They're doing really well. And I was probably had a few question marks on could they kind of sustain this. Loman was unreal.
Yeah, he's good.
He provides good energy, doesn't he?
Logan Morris had a few looks at goal and was great.
He was happy to mix it up a little bit too with Nick Newman, he got your boy Lockie Neal with a little forearm. They had a bit of
Logan's
melee.
from Werribee, so he's got a bit in his blood, you know.
He's got a bit of.
Oh, you're tough from out there, do you?
Oh, well, I'm not from out there. From up north.
You've coached him.
Yeah, you've got to have something about you in Werribee.
Yeah.
Sure do. We love Werribee.
What I like?
Hey,
yeah, like,
I've got a stat actually
Oh, you
for
got
you
one?
guys
Oh,
later.
yeah, give it to us.
I'll give it to you. It's in the next episode.
Oh, sweet.
Next couple of days. Payne got injured. Does he play or is he done?
I haven't seen the report yet.
I think
Was he in a bit of?
He was banged up.
Was he in a
pain?
bit of pain or?
He was.
he limped off.
It's not funny. Sorry, Payne. Look, Brisbane again. I don't think their second half was incredible in that game. Like Carlton nearly came back.
Well, you kind of like
Hard to
you're afforded the luxury of probably a bit of self-preservation.
taking the foot off the gas.
And Carlton had moments where they were.
As
but they had
Charlie
to be
Cameron would say, take the wrist off the bloody accelerator on the motorbike.
Maybe. I don't think he would have ever said that. But they've got the luxury to. Carlton had to be absolutely perfect, and they shaked it up a little bit. And Brisbane had a few moments where they missed walk-in goals, and
Bailey.
Bailey missed a soda, and then they missed a handball, and everything was going. But that was the only and then I think they kick her steadier, and that's all she wrote.
I've got anything to add to that.
No, neither,
it was
mate.
a snooze of
Hey,
the game, that one. It was just.
You've got nothing to say, don't say it. Let's move on.
Yep.
Hey, very, very good. Before we finish up, we've got something else for you.
Go for it.
Is it mixed mailbag? Where's that been?
We need it.
Is it the lotto tickets?
No, we're not doing a lot of
Is it the spin the pen?
No, we're not spinning the pen
No,
anymore.
is it the wounded bull award of the week?
We've got to get onto Tank with that one. Hey, very exciting. Remember the 700s?
Yeah.
We had fun at the 700s, didn't we? We
Well
had a
done.
lot
Out
of
of it.
fun at the 700s.
Mac was good.
Now, we have a little special treat to finish off the year. We're doing 2 AFL 700 sessions to finish off
Which
the year.
we don't call 700.
No, we don't. So one is, it's obviously been rebranded now to AFL Clubby. Sessions will be coming on. There's one with Footy and Friends and there's one with the 200 plus boys.
Right.
So we need to show these boys are. They're just going to be doing fucking ruck craft or something. I don't know what they're going to be doing the whole time. Ruck fuck, I think. But Footy and Friends, hosted by only...
Monkey will get down there for that one.
He might go down to the ruck fuck. I'm not sure what he's doing. But Mick and I are going to be heading down on Tuesday the 17th of September at Ford Park in Ivanhoe.
You shouldn't tell it. I got told it was somewhere else.
No, we couldn't get that one. We couldn't get that oval, so we've moved on. So Ford Park, Ivanhoe.
Is this just like you just rock up?
No, as I said, he's been cutting us off a lot today. This bloke.
Sorry.
We've got only 50 spots, the same as last time. Now, last time, if you remember, people signed up by a list and we selected 50 randomly to come down. Now, that list is going to stay. If you want to get to the next session, again, you've got to sign up and we'll let you know if you win the ballot to come down and train with us. You hit the link in the show notes and put your name up for selection for me and Mick to come have a session for AFL Clubby. We're doing one more to finish off the year. It'd be great.
Where's Brett?
Brett, where are you? You're at Brendan Gale's
farewell
engagement
dinner
party. Or something.
Yeah, no, he's married.
Oh, okay. Yep.
3 kids.
Yeah. 3. Of course 3.
Unfortunately, I'd already committed to the Chiefs' farewell dinner.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll miss you there.
Will
mate.
Ben Nation be going to that one?
I can't imagine he'd get an invite, but good man, mate.
Who else is going? Who's on the guest list for that?
Richo, he's the MC.
Of course, Richo.
Is he the MC, really?
Of course he is.
A couple of my old teammates.
They offered me the job and then
Chris
gave it to
Newman?
Richo.
Knew he would be there, I would imagine. Unless he's away. I'm not sure. He's on holidays at the moment.
Yeah, he loves a holiday, Newey.
Well, why is that?
Don't know. Just go on with it. Anyway, moving on. We have the AFL Clubby Sessions, Footy and Friends, hosted by Mick and Dyl. Tuesday, the 17th of September, Ford Park, Ivanhoe, 6:30 for a 6:45 start. Going to run some drills, have fun, have a kick, finish off the year. There's only 50 spots available. You must hit the link in the show notes to put your name up for selection, and we'll let you know there. Make sure you follow the Instagram page at AFL Clubby, and we'll let you know more. Excited?
Bloody oath. Bring the whistle.
Hey guys, thanks again for this episode. We love you. We appreciate you. It's so good to be back in the chair. Feels like we never left. This episode of Footy and Friends was brought to you by our friends at AAMI. Thank you.